Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Is this thing on? I said shots to Nick and Dawn. Him on the air radio every Sunday night, man. What up? Red Dragons. Shout out to the boy Nick. I see you, Don. You about to witness the real talk, real talk. Put it in your ear. We reaching for the sky, but we put it in the air. Not a glass jar, but I tell it to you clear. Hammer on the air, we rock. Here's your whip, man. Hammer on the air, here's this mic here for nothing. My demographic poor dude box office numbers. Weekend review said we number one getters. Now y'all all here, we're number one getters. Turn it on, Nick and Dawn. And I'm like, turn it up, what the fuck, We air it out, wear it out, and we winning. Him on the air, follow back, and we trending. You can't tell me what I bet not be. Don't give a FCK about the FCC. I'm the head for the hellas, voice for the voices. Him on the air Sunday night, and I'm off this.
What is going down, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Am I on the Air? I am your host, Don Mega, and welcome to the show, everybody, in this Easter edition of Am I on the Air. It's April 20th, 2014. This is Season 8, Episode 11, Deuces. So, what's up? Welcome to the show. Gonna bring you up to speed, your weekly roundup in the world of entertainment news, TV, music, movies, and this week's new movie review is gonna be A Haunted House 2. So, strap on in for the ride, and let's get through another week's worth of entertainment news. I'm gonna kick it off with the review of A Haunted House 2, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of shit for this, because, you know what? I love the first one, and you have to have a certain type of humor to really enjoy the Haunted House movies. And, you know, the first one was a pleasant surprise for me. I've always been a big fan of the Wayans brothers, and I think that kind of takes you, you know, you have to at least have that locked down first to kind of get their humor. When they did the first two Scary movies, that was my shit right there. I used to love parody films, and the first Scary movie is one of the best parody films ever done. It is so hilarious. Part 2 wasn't as good as the first one, but still pretty damn funny. Then the Wayans brothers left afterwards, and then another company took over, and that's who did Scary Movie 3, 4, and 5. You know, there's just always been something about the Wayans brothers' humor. Like, I love White Girls, I love Little Guy, I love, you know, all the movies that they've been associated with, that they've actually had creative input on, I've really enjoyed. Last year, Marlon Wayans wrote and did this movie called A Haunted House, which wasn't really a straight-up spoof movie. It just took elements of, like, Paranormal Activity and stuff like that, and kind of did its own storyline around it. And I really found the film pretty damn funny. Don't get me wrong. It's stupid as shit. It is really damn stupid. And you just have to really go into this movie, shut your mind off, and really just have a silly sense of humor. And I really do. I don't take anything... I try not to take everything so serious. And if you can't just shut your mind off for, 80 minutes, then I guess stay away from these films. But if you have a really silly sense of humor and you can just enjoy like a slapsticky, stupid spoof comedy, I don't see why you wouldn't like this. So Haunted House 1, took my brother-in-law with me. He was like, man, I gotta see this movie. And he actually enjoyed it, And so now when the second one came out, I was like, we gotta do it again, right? So he was like, all right. I got enough laughs out of the first one. I'll go see the second one. Which, he felt kind of the same way about the second one. And I gotta say, I once again thought that he killed it. I thought A Haunted House 2 was hilarious. And for some people, I'm gonna be in the minority on this, It's one of those films that from critics, no critic likes this film. So I love that I get to be the one critic that's like, go see this. Um, it's funny, man. It just really is. This one, he spoofs a lot of. He still does Paranormal Activity, but he does The Conjuring. He does Sinister. He does The Possession. There's a little bit of Mama in there. So it's a good handful of movies. Um, pretty much it takes place a year after the first film, and he's trying to move on with his life, but, the new house he moves into is haunted. He now lives with his new girlfriend, which is played by Jamie Presley. She has two kids with her. His neighbor is Gabriel Iglesias, Mr. Fluffy Man himself, and he's hilarious as well. Um, Cedric the Entertainer pops up in this, reprising his priest role from the first film, which is awesome as hell. Um, you know, I still don't know if I like the second one more than the first, but I felt when I walked out of it, I felt like they were pretty much on par with each other. Like, I didn't really feel like one dominated two or two dominated one. I kind of look at them across the board on like the same playing field, so to speak. Um, there was some stupid parts in this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, not every joke, hit. But when the good ones hit, they were fucking hilarious. And, I've been lucky too because for as many people that don't like these films, when I saw the first one, I saw it in a very pretty packed theater and everyone was really enjoying it. And that made my experience go up because of the fun that people were having in the theater and the response that people were doing to the jokes. And I got pretty lucky in the second one too. When I saw this opening night on Friday, um, about a half full theater, and everybody was, cracking up at all the same parts, and like it was really good because it wasn't like there was only a couple of us laughing at these jokes. I mean, the whole theater was busting up laughing. People were clapping. I mean, it was pretty damn hilarious. So, it. Like I said, I'm gonna get shit for this, and let me try to explain it, a little bit better. It's hard sometimes to explain my star scales at points, because some people just see stars and they expect a certain level out of a film. Now, I've explained before with comedies, I kind of base the star scale on comedies with how much did I laugh. Did it provide me as many laughs as I possibly could have wanted out of this movie? That's how I kind of judge a comedy film. So let me explain. So A Haunted House 2, I gave 4 stars to. 4 out of 5. So most people are going to see 4 out of 5 and they're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. 4 out of 5? Are you serious? Like, you're saying it's an awesome, amazing film? It's not that it's that, because it's silly, and there's some parts in there that I was a little embarrassed watching, but it's not about that. Like I said, with a comedy, it's about, did I laugh my ass off? Yes, I did, and there's not much more that they could have done. I mean, it's a silly slapstick spoof movie. What do you expect out of this? I got what I wanted. He made me laugh my ass off. There was plenty of scenes that almost had me in tears because I was laughing so hard. So why wouldn't I give it 4 stars? Um, my brother-in-law, for example, he rates films based on what type of movie it is. So even though when we walked out of this film and he laughed his ass off and he was like, yeah, there was some funny ass parts in that film. He was like, the movie was stupid though, and I would only give it a couple stars. And I'm like, but did you have a good time? He's like, yeah, I had a great time. The shit was hilarious. So, it's kind of confusing because it's like, okay, so you thought it was hilarious and you laughed a lot at the film, but you're saying it's stupid and you would only give it like 2 stars. Like, to me, that's confusing. That's more confusing than me saying I'm going to give it 4 stars, because I'm being upfront and I'm being honest. 4 stars is based on a laugh meter, you know? At one point, I contemplated doing a different review method for comedies and doing it like 4 smiles or 4 chuckles, like something different than stars, just to kind of really explain this in a different route, because people are so quick to see 4 and think that I'm saying this film is amazing, and that's not what I'm saying. This film is fucking stupid, but you need to be able to shut your brain off and have a very silly sense of humor. You know, it's not for everyone, and I understand that, but it's for me, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So, you know, my hat is off to Marlon Wayans. He makes these films dirt cheap. He makes these films for like $2 million, and then they make like 10 or more opening weekend. So they're mad profitable. So I'm sure we're getting a Haunted House 3. So, and I'll be there again opening weekend. So, you know, I just wanted to really take an extra minute just to kind of explain where I'm coming from. When I say 4 stars, I'm not saying like, oh, this should be nominated for an Oscar. This is one of the most smartest comedies I've seen in years. No, this isn't that type of comedy. This is just a silly, shut your mind off comedy. And for what it was, it made me laugh my ass off in plenty of parts that, based on how a comedy made me feel, I had to give it 4 stars. Because I rate comedies based on how happy and how much it makes me laugh. And that's what this did. So once again, it's not for everyone. If you saw a Haunted House 1 and you hated it, then stay away from a Haunted House 2 because it's just more of the same shit. There's several jokes and several kind of ideas from the first film that are rehashed in this one because they worked really well in the first and they work again here. But it's a lot. It really is a lot of the repeat method. And if this humor is gross out or just stupid and vulgar and you could not stand the first film, then I'm telling you right now, stay away from this one. But if you laughed at the first one and you thought it was a pretty funny movie, then I'm suggesting to you right now that you need to see a Haunted House 2 because it's just as funny. All right, so I hope that clears it up, and I hope that kind of sets the record pretty clear. I don't know how much clearer I can make it. If you hated the first, you'll hate this one. If you loved the first, you'll love this one. Plain and simple. But for me, 4 out of 5 stars. Aight? Alright, Haunted House 2 in theaters now. Let's move on, my friends, to the news of the week and get you caught up. There hasn't really been that much, honestly, so we'll rapid fire through this and bang it out, and yeah. So I don't think there's anything too big this week, but some, nice little tidbits throughout the week. Number one, there's been a lot of rumors going around that Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be a villain in the new Star Wars Episode 7 film. An interview happened with him last week, and he was quoted as saying, I hate to tell y'all, but it's not going to happen. His quote exactly was, won't happen. He says he's talked to JJ and all this stuff, but he says he is not a part of Star Wars. So even though he has flat out said I'm not a part of Star Wars, there's still a lot of people that are like, he's lying. He also said he wasn't Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness, and guess what? He was Khan. So who knows what to believe, but at this point we can only take the guy on his word, and on his word right now, it's that he is not in Star Wars Episode 7. Hemlock Grove. If you didn't see Hemlock Grove was a kind of a horror werewolf kind of thriller show that was on Netflix. It was a Netflix exclusive show that debuted last year, and it was pretty good. I didn't get to finish the first season, but I watched a couple episodes. Eli Roth is involved, and Famke Jensen's in it, and it was pretty decent. I don't know why I didn't finish it, honestly. I need to. It's these Netflix shows. I space them sometimes. I'm so used to setting the DVR for the week and watching everything on the regular cable box that I forget about Netflix sometimes. But Hemlock Grove did very well on Netflix, and it's coming back for a second season. And this past week, Netflix confirmed that the second season of Hemlock Grove is going to debut on July 11th. So very, very cool. July 11th, Hemlock Grove. We have the first trailer for God's Pocket. We got a couple trailers, actually, for the last couple movies that Philip Seymour Hoffman was involved in, not counting the Hunger Games films. But one is called God's Pocket, and the other one is called A Most Wanted Man. So both of those trailers are up on the Twitter and Facebook page. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sony is looking to do a Venom movie. They're going to do it. They've already greenlit it. It's coming. Rumors are swirling like crazy now that Venom will be facing off against Carnage in the Venom film. Where the rumor started with Carnage was right now there's a marketing thing going on. It's a Tumblr site for the Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's supposed to be like a mock Daily Bugle, and they release news and information all the time on it. And some of it's supposed to, be little hints and ideas for the movie. Some of it's supposed to be forecasting for upcoming films. And that's where this kind of started. An article ran in the Daily Bugle stating that, and the article was written by Eddie Brock, who becomes Venom. And the article goes on to talk about Cassidy being arrested and being, held in the sanitarium and all this stuff. The guy that got arrested, of course, is the guy in the comics that becomes Carnage, which I love Carnage, and I've been waiting ever since the first Spider-Man film to see Carnage up on the big screen. So my fingers are crossed, because a Venom movie with Carnage as the main villain, it sounds like a dream come true to me. So, there's nothing confirming that that's the way they're going, but I've seen some articles with the guys over at Sony, and they're kind of like, you gotta wait and see. So they're not denying it. They're not, saying it's coming for sure, but at the same token, they're not denying it, which I take for a big thing. I think this is definitely showing some signs over for that. So hopefully that is all well and good, and we will see Carnage take on Venom within the next couple years. Harrison Ford is curious and excited about Blade Runner 2. So this is really, really cool. Blade Runner 2 sequel is something that's been talked about for a long, long time. And almost every year they're like, oh, it's coming, no, it's not coming. Oh, it's coming, no, it's not coming. It's on the agenda again. And right now it looks like motion is going on it, and Harrison Ford is very excited to be a part of it. So that's pretty cool, because I don't think a Blade Runner sequel would work that well without him. So very cool. USA has renewed the show Chrisley Knows Best for a second season. I know nothing really about this show, and this actually comes on after Monday Night Raw, which I watch every single Monday. And I have no idea what this is, but it looks stupid as hell. And I think it's only been on for like 2 or 3 episodes, and the USA Network has already renewed it for a second season. So, Jesus. Oh my god. They'll renew anything these days. We have the first official trailer for Gone Girl up on the page, and this is a pretty cool teaser. This is the new movie starring Ben Affleck. This is based on a book by Gillian Flynn. It's directed by David Fincher. In the book, Ben Affleck's wife disappears, and they think that he murdered her. And there's all kinds of twists and turns and this and that. I did not read the book, but my wife did, and she's super excited for this film. I haven't seen her so excited for a movie in a long time. But yeah, Gone Girl, the first trailer finally released. Just a little teaser. It's about 1.5 minutes long, but it kind of sets up the premise pretty nice. So we got an update on the next latest actor attached to the role of Black Panther. Now, Black Panther, of course, is a Marvel superhero that we've been talking about for many, many years, because he's somebody that's been on the rumored list for a long time that he's coming. And newest actor attached to the role of Black Panther is Chadwick Boseman. For those of you that don't know Chadwick Boseman, he played Jackie Robinson in the 42 film that came out last year. He'll next be seen in the James Brown biopic, Get On Up, playing James Brown. So he loves biopics, and I think it would be cool. He's a pretty decent actor, and I can see them getting somebody like him, more up-and-comer, not established type actor that could step into a role like Black Panther. So take it for what it is. It's just a rumor still at this point, but pretty cool to actually hear some thoughts on Black Panther finally getting his deal. David Fincher, who we just talked about on Gone Girl, he was set, and they were going after him, trying to lock in a deal for him to direct the new Steve Jobs biopic film. And he actually has stepped away from the project. So David Fincher has exited the Steve Jobs biopic. It's a little unfortunate. He's a great director, and I think he could have done something cool since he did The Social Network, and I kind of was getting the Social Network vibe out of doing another Steve Jobs film, but we'll see where it goes. We have a pretty cool video up on the Facebook page. It's the opening fight scene from X-Men Days of Future Past. This is a pretty cool, about a minute and a half scene of like Bishop and Kitty Pryde and Iceman and Blink and Warpath, everybody just doing their thing, kicking some ass. So it's a pretty cool. Check that out. Samuel L. Jackson may actually return for Die Hard 6. This gets me excited. I mean, they really shouldn't be doing a Die Hard 6, but if they do, the idea of Samuel L. Jackson coming back, he was in Die Hard 3. This makes me kind of excited because I love Samuel L. Jackson in Die Hard 3, and I just love Samuel L. Jackson, period. So seeing his name attached makes me pretty stoked. So he may be coming back, so keep your fingers crossed on that. I think that might help Bruce Willis step his game up. Hans Zimmer will return to score the Batman vs. Superman film. This is really cool because his score was amazing for Man of Steel. So very, very cool to hear that he's going to come back for Man of Steel 2. ABC still hasn't decided whether they're going to do another season of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. It is on the bubble, but they're talking about it, they're discussing it, and so on top of doing the second season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're also looking at doing an Agent Carter film as well. Of course, Agent Carter, based on the role that Haley Atwell played in the original Avengers film, or not Avengers, but original Captain America film. She also helped form S.H.I.E.L.D., so they might be doing a show with her as well, because ABC's loving being a part of the Marvel business. Friday the 13th is getting rebooted. We've talked about this before, and right now they're in negotiations with VHS director David Bruckner. So he is in negotiations to take over the Friday the 13th reboot. Magic Mike 2. You girls ready? Magic Mike 2, better known as Magic Mike XXL, is slated to hit theaters officially on July 3rd, 2015. So there you go. It didn't have a release date yet, and now we've locked it in. July 3rd, 2015, Magic Mike XXL. Our honest trailer of the week is for The Wolf of Wall Street, and it is hilarious. You can check that out on the Facebook page, Honest Trailer, Wolf of Wall Street. In our Everything Wrong With series, we've done Everything Wrong With The Matrix in 12 minutes or less. In some pretty cool news, we actually reported this back when it was a rumor, and now Universal Pictures has confirmed it. As you know, production has restarted on Fast and Furious 7, and Universal Pictures acknowledged and confirmed that both of Paul Walker's brothers are helping to complete Fast and Furious action scenes. So, supposedly from the report, it states that most of Paul Walker's dramatic work was all filmed. Like, that's what he had done in the can. But a lot of action shots were not filmed with him yet. So both of his brothers look pretty much alike him, and so they're using them for like stand-in shots, action shots, distance shots, stuff like that, and then they can also use them to then CG Paul Walker's face on top. So pretty cool. I love that Universal's doing this. I thought it was pretty cool when this was a rumor, and it's cool to see them come out and officially announce it. So Paul Walker's brothers helping to complete Fast and Furious 7 in honor of their brother. I'm excited about this. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are reuniting with director Adam McKay for a new movie called Border Guards. Well, there'll be a couple guys trying to protect the border from immigrants coming, and I think they get caught on the other side of the border and then have to try to break out from Mexico to get back to the U.S. I'm telling you right now, this is a winning combination. These three did Step Brothers together, which is one of my all-time favorite comedies. Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, and Adam McKay together is nothing but comedy gold. So I am all aboard for Border Wars. Sharon Stone has joined Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg in a new movie called American Ultra. We have the Red Band trailer for Walk of Shame. That's the new film starring Elizabeth Banks and James Marsden. We have the third and final trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past. I'm stoked on this, man. This trailer is so good, and it finally gives you an idea of the storyline of the film. This one is focused more on Wolverine, and he's explaining, like, to young Professor X how he got sent back in time, and he needs their help, and the only thing that bugs me about this trailer, and I can't wait to see how the movie explains it, is the fact that young Professor X is walking in a lot of these scenes, and that Beast is not blue. Beast is a character that cannot just turn it on and off, and he turned blue and kind of hulked out in X-Men First Class. So why is he in his human form in this film? I don't get it. And Charles, of course, got shot at the end of First Class and wound up in a wheelchair. You see him in the wheelchair in the trailers for First Class or for Days of Future Past, but then you see plenty of other scenes where he's walking around with no issue. So I really need some explanation because every time I see it, it pisses me off because it just makes no sense. But I won't let that take away how amazing this trailer is. I was glad that Fox dropped one more trailer for us, and I can't wait. We're about a month away. X-Men: Days of Future Past hitting theaters. It's gonna be awesome. We talked about the rumor before too. We'll stay on the X-Men click for a while now. Before I get to the rumor, let me just also announce that this past week they announced that Anna Paquin, who is in the film as Rogue, we reported months ago that her scenes got cut out. Well, it was announced this past week that actually she will be in the film. Not that her scenes are put back into the movie, but there was just some other scenes that were shot that are being used that she is involved in, so you'll see her in the film. They're saying chalk it up to kind of a cameo type role, so it's nothing huge, but she will be in the film at least. So I'll take it. I'll take anything I can. Love Anna Paquin and very excited to see her back in the film. So Rogue is in the movie. And lastly, on the X-Men front, this was a rumor a couple months ago where we heard the producer of the X-Men films, Laura Schuler-Donner, was saying that if it was up to her, Channing Tatum would be playing Gambit in the X-Men films. Then about a month ago or so, we heard Bryan Singer say that they're looking at using Gambit and Nightcrawler in the next X-Men film, in X-Men Apocalypse. After the MTV Movie Awards last weekend, they did an interview with Channing Tatum, and Channing Tatum confirmed that he has actually met with the X-Men producers, and he's been in talks with them about working something out. So whether that is a solo Gambit film or him joining up for X-Men Apocalypse, that's to be seen. But this is actually moving along better than a lot of people thought, because this was just a rumor, and now they're confirming that he's been in negotiations and he's been talking and they've been trying to work out a deal. So, kind of cool. He says that he loves the character of Gambit and that if he could play any X-Men, it would be Gambit anyway. So he's pretty stoked on it, which makes me kind of stoked on it. My only beef is I really want Taylor Kitsch to come back. I like Taylor Kitsch. I thought he did a pretty decent job with the role in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He didn't get to do too much in it, but what he did, I didn't think was bad, and I don't think that, they need to recast the role. I mean, if they do a Deadpool movie, they're looking at Ryan Reynolds to do it, so why can't Taylor Kitsch get another shot at being Gambit? I don't know why they feel the need to, recast it. But if you're gonna recast it, Channing Tatum is probably a pretty good pick for Gambit. So, because the guy can carry his own movie if they want to do a Gambit spinoff, and of course do the ensemble films. So, we'll see. But don't be shocked when all of a sudden I'm announcing that they've confirmed that Channing Tatum is Gambit, because it looks like it's heading that way. Back to TV news. FX has ordered a third season of The Americans. Adam Carolla's Catch a Contractor has been renewed for season 2. Congratulations to Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg. They got engaged this past week, so very, very cool on their behalf. Congratulations. The View is going to be doing a special for Barbara Walters' retirement. They're going to reunite all past and present co-hosts. Everybody that's been a host on the show is coming back. It's going to be the first time ever. Fargo debuted on FX last week, and Fargo premiered to more than 4 million viewers. So real big hit already for FX, and all the reviews have been super solid for this show. I meant to DVR it last week. I forgot to. I'm kind of on the fence if I want to get into it or not, but I've been hearing nothing but good things, so I might have to check it out. In some weird sequel news, I don't know where this came from or why, but Robin Williams is set to return for a Mrs. Doubtfire sequel. Christopher Columbus, who directed the original film, says he's going to be back to direct the sequel as well. I don't know why we need a Mrs. Doubtfire sequel. I don't see the point. I don't see the need, but I guess it's coming, so There you go. Production has began on the new movie San Andreas starring The Rock, so he has just started filming that film. We have the first trailer for Eli Roth's new horror film. It's called The Green Inferno. This is a new teaser trailer as well. Looks kind of, I mean, it's hard to say what it looks like because it's a very small teaser trailer, but it's it's like it's shot in the jungle, and there's a little tag on the trailer that says this film was shot in the Peru jungle, and the tribes shown in this film have never been shown on camera before, and it looks like some kind of weird jungle tribe who capture these Americans and then torture them, and God knows what else. So it's Eli Roth, so it's going to be something kind of creepy. But yeah, it's called The Green Inferno. If you're a horror film, I suggest checking that out. In some sad news, kind of going back to I kind of almost didn't even want to talk about this, but it's my job here to inform you on all the entertainment news. We were just talking about all the X-Men stuff and everything. So X-Men director Bryan Singer is being sued. It's a civil suit, and it came out a couple days ago. That he supposedly, allegedly, sexually abused a 17-year-old boy back in 1999. It's interesting of what surrounds this, and I don't know how much I want to get into it. I'm a strong believer in innocent until proven guilty, so I'm gonna believe Bryan Singer is innocent until I hear something different. Why now? 1999, and just now this kid is coming out, or this man, I should say at this point, is coming out saying that he was sexually abused or raped in 1999. And why would you come out a month before the dude's new movie is about to release? And like I said, this is a civil suit as well, so the dude just wants some money. So this seems like a very quick cash grab. Bryan Singer's lawyers are saying this is bull, they'll fight it, he's got nothing to worry about. Supposedly, this took place in Hawaii, and Bryan Singer's lawyers say they have proof that Bryan Singer wasn't even in Hawaii at this point. So, I don't know where this is going to go. I really hope it's not true. I hope this doesn't damper X-Men Days of Future Past, because it could, with depending on what comes out in the next month. But we'll see. Innocent until proven guilty. But like I said, it's not news I really want to I care to talk about on this show. But you need to at least know about it. In Spider-Man 2, the post-credit scene is actually an X-Men Days of Future Past scene, which got a lot of the internet all riled up, thinking like, oh my god, there's going to be an X-Men and Spider-Man crossover. You can breathe, because there's not going to be a crossover. The scene that's at the end of Spider-Man 2 is actually just a clip from Days of Future Past. It doesn't mean that anything's connecting and that there's a tie-in. And the only reason that they're even doing that is because the director of Amazing Spider-Man, Mark Webb, he had a deal with Fox. He had a contract with Fox to do a movie, and then Sony asked him to do Spider-Man. Fox gave him approval to go do Spider-Man, but then said, we want something in return at some point. And now they're basically cashing in, saying, here's what you could do for us. You can promote X-Men in your Spider-Man film. So they, instead of doing an after credits scene for Spider-Man, which they don't really have anything set for Spider-Man 3 or Sinister Six or Venom or anything at this point, so they said, sure, we'll just tack on a scene from Days of Future Past. So a pretty cool scene with Mystique and Havoc and Toad fighting on a military base. It has been tagged on to the end credit scene of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is only about 2 weeks away till that comes out. So that's the explanation of the X-Men cameo. We also have another Everything Wrong With. It's the Everything Wrong With The Hobbit Desolation of Smaug. Congratulations to Sony. Again, Sony's PlayStation 4 sales have surpassed 7 million units. So that is awesome. It is kicking the Xbox One ass. And I love it because I'm a PlayStation man through and through. If you're on PS, go ahead and add me. DX Don Mega. Orange is the New Black is returning on June 6th. And you can watch the first trailer for Season 2 now. Check out the link over on the Twitter page. The Lego Movie is headed to DVD and Blu-ray on June 17th. Chris Pine is in talks to star in a new Disney Coast Guard drama based on a true story. Sinister 2 has been greenlit and is moving ahead with Citadel director. So I don't really care about the director. Just make a damn good movie and give me some more Bagul, because Bagul was a cool ass demon, scary character that they just dropped the ball on in the first Sinister film. Make this dude scary as hell in the second film, and make him carry the movie, and I'll appreciate Sinister 2 a lot more. Zack Snyder says the movie team up of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman is kind of epic. Yeah, I think we all knew that. But he was pretty stunned. Yeah, I guess he was doing some costume shoots with just some stand-ins wearing the new Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman costumes. And he said he took a picture on his phone and he was just looking at it and he was saying how awesome it was to see those characters standing side by side. You know, and he was like, man, I wish I could show you guys what this looks like, but I can't because then everybody would kill me. And he's right. But that is very, very cool that they did that. I would die to see that picture. I'm so curious to see what the new Batman outfit looks like. And I'm very curious, actually, to see what kind of Wonder Woman outfit they're going to go with. We have another new trailer. This is for the film called Third Person. It stars Liam Neeson and Olivia Wilde. And what I didn't know is actually this film is pretty star-studded. I mean, I'm trying to think back now to the trailer, but on top of Liam Neeson and Olivia Wilde, I think like James Franco is in there and Mila Kunis, and there's a handful of other people too. Like, people just kept popping up in this trailer, and I was like, damn. So, yeah. Got another new trailer for Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys is directed by Clint Eastwood. It's, of course, based on the Broadway play. This is another one that my wife is, like, goo-goo gagaing over, and I could care less. But the Jersey Boys trailer comes out this summer, has been released, and you can check that out on the page. Fox is canceling its Saturday night ADHD programming block. So I didn't even know they had this, but I guess Fox has an animated block on Saturday nights. It's kind of like animation for adults. It's called their ADHD, and they're actually canceling it. So no more. I'm pretty excited about this, but Gwen Stefani is in talks to join NBC's The Voice in the next season. We already talked on a previous show about Pharrell standing in for CeeLo, that CeeLo was out and Pharrell was joining the team. Now they're saying that Christina Aguilera looks to be out the next season, and that Gwen Stefani would step in to take her spot. I really hope this works out. I love Gwen Stefani, and I think she'd be a great addition to The Voice. I like when they're mixing up the judges. I think that this really works for the show. I think the judges should be swapped out all the time. You know, I don't know why, Adam Levine and Countryman get to stick around every season, but then the other guys got to keep swapping out, because I really enjoy Shakira and Usher, but it's like they're like can only do every other season for some reason. I don't know, but if anybody can join and it's Gwen Stefani, I'm super on board for that. In pretty cool news, Sci-Fi Channel has renewed Face Off for a 7th season. That's pretty cool because I love Face Off, and I've been watching it for the last couple seasons, and it's a really fun show, so it's good to see it come back for a 7th season. In a little bit of music news, Prince is returning to Warner Brothers Records after 18 years. Yes, for the first time in 18 years, he returns to Warner Brothers. I'm pretty shocked about this because I'm a big Prince fan, and back in the 90s when people bought music all the time, he was on Warner Brothers, and he hated his contract. I mean, that's really what prompted him to change his name to The Symbol. And then he used to write slave on his cheek. He used to always walk around with the word slave written on his cheek, and that was to Warner Brothers, because he said he felt like a slave to the record label, and he always had to do what they wanted, and he didn't want to do that anymore. The downside to the business is that Warner Brothers owns, pretty much all his greatest hits. So to play nice, he worked out this new deal. He now gets ownership of his original recordings, and then he also promises to put out a new album on Warner Brothers. So, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let's work together. So it makes sense if he wants to get his original recordings back that he works out a deal with Warner Brothers. So, congratulations for him doing the best thing for business. I was a little sad by this, but the Spider-Man producers have nixed multiple studio crossover suggestions. The guys behind Spider-Man said, don't look for him to be joining the Avengers anytime soon, and that Sony wouldn't even contemplate doing a crossover film unless they completely ran out of ideas and got desperate. So that kind of bummed me out, because I don't think it needs to get to that point for you to want to put him in Avengers and see your character on the big screen with some of the other biggest characters ever in comic book movies. So I felt that that was kind of cocky on Sony's part to be like, oh, we'll only do that if we're desperate, and it's a little cheesy, but what can you do? I've pretty much given up hope on crossover films anyway, but it was just a little sad to see Sony kind of pull that card. Um, CW has set their summer schedule, including the return of Beauty and the Beast. If you want to see the full summer schedule, I'm not going to get into it here, but you can see it on the Facebook page. American Idol has also announced their 2014 tour dates. So if you're a fan of the show this season and you're looking to see the group on its 40-city tour, same thing, head over to our Facebook page and check out the link of the tour dates. A little funny piece of news that actually just came out tonight. It was released by the makers of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is the sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The film takes place 10 years later, and if you know anything about the film, you know that James Franco was not involved with the sequel. He, of course, was the main character in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And I was a little bummed by that because I thought that he was really, really good in the first film. So I was a little saddened that he wasn't coming back. Over the weekend was WonderCon. And at WonderCon, they did an interview for the movie, and they were talking about his character and stuff like that. And they explained that James Franco's character dies at some point between the first film and the second film, because it does take place like 10 years later. They don't explain how, but I'm guessing it's the virus that spread. But the studio said James Franco will have a cameo role in the film, and that basically it'll be like a flashback scene, or like Caesar might be watching some kind of old footage or something that has him in it, but that James Franco would have a cameo role in it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm glad they at least did that. And then I read a funny article, which I posted on the Twitter and the Facebook page, called "No One Bothered Telling James Franco That He's in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes," and in it, basically they asked James Franco, like, what was it like to do your cameo role? And he was like, what? I did a cameo role in that film? No one told me. Are they even allowed to do that? So he's playing coy, or he's genuinely shocked that he is actually in this film. So now it's speculation that basically they're just going to use some, deleted scene or some kind of extra footage that they had from the first film and kind of recycle it for the second movie. I hope that they film something special with him and he's just being stupid about it. But you never know. But I found it very funny that they were like, nobody bothered telling James Franco he was in the new movie. Because he did seem genuinely shocked about the cameo role. He's like, I did a cameo for that movie? So I'm guessing at this point it's just reused footage from the first film. But you never know. I hope that he filmed, like I said, I hope that he filmed a cameo and he's just playing kind of coy about it to kind of try to keep it a surprise, because no one knew about it until WonderCon this weekend. And that, my friends, is going to get us, that's it. That's all the latest news that gets us up to speed. And now let's run on over to, oh wait, hold on, let me check one more thing while I got you here. Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. I actually do have another article up on the page that you should check out if you're interested in summer box office and all the big releases that are coming out. This is a big article, and I was contemplating going through it with you guys, but I'm not gonna waste the time going through it. But what this does is it's called, the article is called, I'm sorry, I just totally lost my place on it. Box office forecast, studio by studio breakdown. This is actually a really cool article just posted over the weekend that actually breaks down each studio. So it talks Universal, Disney, Sony, and it breaks down all the films that the studio has releasing this summer and like what's posed to do good. And you got Godzilla and Edge of Tomorrow and Jupiter Ascending and X-Men Days of Future Past and Transformers 4 and Hercules and, 22 Jump Street, like all the big films coming out this summer, and kind of where they line up for each studio and what, might do well, what might not do so well, back and forth. So it's a really cool breakdown, just if you're curious, of everything coming out this summer. Alright, now we're going to head on over to the music charts. So we'll bang through this real quick as we always do. On to the top 10 albums. Coming in number 10 is Here to the Good Times by Florida Georgia Line. Number 9 is Shakira with Shakira. Number 8 is Crash My Party by Luke Bryan. Number 7 is Everlasting by Martina McBride. Number 6 is Somo by Somo. I don't know who the fuck is Somo. Number 5 is Catacombs of the Black Vatican by Black Label Society. Number 4 is Welcome to the New by Mercy Me. Number 3 is She Looks So Perfect by 5 Seconds of Summer. Number 2 is Girl by Pharrell Williams. And number 1 is the Frozen soundtrack. Going on over to the top singles. Alright, top songs. Number 10 is Counting Stars by One Republic. Number 9 is The Man by Aloe Black. Number 8 is Turned Down for What by DJ Snake and Little John. Number 7 is Team by Lorde. Number 6 is Pompeii by Bastille. Number 5 is Let It Go by Idina Menzel. Number 4 is Talk Dirty, Jason Derulo featuring 2 Chainz. Number 3 is Dark Horse by Katy Perry featuring Juicy J. Number 2 is All of Me by John Legend. And number 1, once again, is Happy. Let's go on over to our releases and box office. Nothing really big is hitting DVD or Blu-ray this week, just some TV shows. In theaters on Friday will be Brick Mansions, The Quiet Ones, and The Other Woman. I'm going to try to see Brick Mansions, so that should be a review for next week. And our box office top 10, number 10 is God's Not Dead, 4.8 million. Number 9 is Noah with 5 million. Number 8 is Oculus with 5.2 million. Number 7 is Divergent with 5.75 million. Number 6 is Draft Day with 5.9 million. Number 5 is A Haunted House 2 with 9.1 million. Number 4 is Transcendence with 11.2 million. Big bomb for Transcendence right here, and Johnny Depp. This movie cost over $100 million to make. They were estimating it would do a $20 million opening, and it only did 11. Ouch. Number 3 is Heaven is for Real with 21.5 million. Very nice debut for that. And number 2 is Rio 2 with 22.5 million. And number 1 for the third week straight, and well-deserved once again, Captain America the Winter Soldier with $26.6 million. Number 1, 3 weeks straight. Alright, my friends, that'll do it for us tonight on this April the 20th. I want to shout out my baby girl. My little baby girl is 5 months old today as well. And, of course, happy Easter to everybody. RedDragonsRadio.com is our main affiliate where you can listen to us on demand. The Access Radio Network, you can follow on Twitter over at Access Radio. And UltimateSportsTalk.com, you can follow on Twitter at ULT Sports Talk, where we're on demand. Of course, you can subscribe to us on iTunes. If you head on over to our website, click on the iTunes tab, and you can get a direct link to that. AmIOnTheAir.com is the official webpage. Go ahead and bookmark that, where you can listen to the show every week. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/future, this is my old show, Facebook.com/AmIOnTheAir. And on Twitter, follow us at AmIOnTheAir. And follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega. You can, of course, download the Stitcher Radio app to listen to us on the go as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time for the next Am I on the Air? Peace.
Don Mega.